Kev, it's our fourth consecutive Tuesday night tomorrow night as we host Dorking Wanderers. Of course, we'll probably go into it with a bit of a spring in our step with the unbeaten run that we are on, but of course trying to turn those draws into wins.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as you say, it's been relentless, and this league's like that. So, the hardest for keeping everyone fresh. There's little training in between games, and the most important thing is that everyone's ready to go. And not hold back. Keeping people fit, keeping people fresh as much as you can, because it's been a long, hard season. So, we've got to be ready.
Yeah, I mean, we've been well documented the slow starts that we have been made. But if you want to turn it into a bit of a positive, it's 9 points gained from losing positions from our last 5 games. So, I guess that's a sign of a good team. We often talk about it being a sign of a good team when you can get points when maybe not at your absolute best.
No, I think the message from the other day is to perform like we did in the second half. I think we don't want to start and concede first, obviously, but it's a testament to the players' character that they never give in. And I think that's something, if you look right across the season, from pre-season throughout, they've got that in the locker, and that should never be questioned. Do we need to look to improve all the time? Absolutely, but we're doing that, and if we're disappointed with drawing games, that tells you how far we come and where the standards are at this football club now, and within the players, despite everything that they've had to go through.
I looked at the table from last season just before we did this interview, and it was 50 points was the bar for safety. So that's 1 win away. Do you feel like maybe with 27 points to play for, it could be a little bit higher this season, or with the amount of teams that are sort of in and around it? I mean, there's going to be points taken off each other, isn't there, all the way? So do you focus too much though on that?
Not massively, but I think it might be higher than 50 this year. And we're not far off that. But I think you've got with the amount of games left, you can't think of anything other than trying to win games for yourself, and what other teams do is up to them. There'll be surprise results. There'll be people winning games when you don't expect them to be, because they're fighting for their lives. And that's football. Just because you're coming up against a team that might be lower down the league, it's that tight. So there's not much between a lot of teams. That when teams are fighting and got a cause, then we've shown that early in the season. Your results will come, and we've got to try and keep our levels as bits we want to improve without a shadow. But to be as competitive we are with 10 points, and we'd be right in amongst the playoff push. But obviously that's not there, so we've got to focus on next result, next game, and go as well as we can.
You sort of said the playoff push isn't there, but a win tomorrow night, and then people may be turning around and talking about it. It's just the way that these things go, maybe.
No, I'm not. Listen, I'll never say anything. Nothing is impossible, absolutely. But let's get it right. You've got to win a game. There's no point thinking too far ahead. We've been there before at the football club, and we've got a little bit of perspective at times, which I try and say sometimes, and where there's a bigger gap to the playoffs than there is below us. So let's win the next game. Let's see what that is. You can't focus on anything that's going to happen. Teams above you, teams below you. Let's get our house in order. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, box standard question now. You'll be wanting to get Harry Taylor and Ollie Kensdale back as quickly as you can, but do you have to be a little bit cautious with them as well? Yeah,
listen, Harry's done a little bit of training today, which is good to see. But in terms of being ready for tomorrow, we'll see how he is reacting off today, but that might be too soon. Kens hasn't trained yet, so he's still got to get his mask, and we'll see where he is with that.
And just a quick word as well on Dorking. Of course, they're second season at this level and continue to do very well. They're in amongst it though, aren't they, down there, and they'll be fighting for their lives trying to get 3 points tomorrow.
Yeah, and huge credit to Mark and his team and everything they do. They're beating us at their place, and always competitive with everything they do, and how they play their football, and I expect a huge test tomorrow night. As always, any time we play Dorking, I don't see them any inferior to anyone else in this league. How they prepare, and they're ready for games. They've got some real experience and good quality in the team. So, absolute respect for them and everything that they've done. And we've got to perform. And it's a home game, and we want to hit the standards that we think we can hit. And that's following on from the second half the other day.
Yeah. Cheers, thank you.
Kevin, the equaliser you scored on Saturday was a clinical breakaway goal. It looked like it was a well-rehearsed training move.
I'd love to tell you it was, yeah. just like all the goals, the players, if the space is there, I think Cards has done brilliant for the goal. We talk about getting our centre forwards in around the 6-yard box to score goals, but I'd love to say it was right off the training ground, but they can only play what they see the players, and that's up to them to make the right decision at the right time.
And Danny Waldron obviously getting that goal. How impressed have you been with him since he joined in January?
Yeah, delighted that he's got a goal at home now as well as the one away. So really pleased with that, and the work Cards did for him as well. It was important that he's in around the 6-yard box where goal scorers should be. And listen, there'll be plenty more to come from Dan and the other forwards who have got a massive part to play.
Obviously, there's been a lot of talk, 4 draws out in your last 7 games, but you've only conceded 6 goals and you've still got the best defensive record in the league. That must give you a lot of confidence. Yeah,
but I don't want to get complacent because we probably could have conceded 1 or 2 more on the Saturday possibly. So we've looked at that and what we've got to do better. Listen, and improve in all areas all the time. It's important that we keep picking up points even when you haven't played great for a period. And I think that's a sign of a good side and a team with good character. We know that. The areas to improve, obviously, but we keep pushing, and what these players have done and what they keep doing, it continues to not surprise you because you see it every day with them. But that shouldn't be taken for granted.
As you say there, you could have conceded more goals on Saturday. Maybe that's been the case in a few games this season. How impressive has Colin and Ding been in goal? Has he had to work harder than you'd like him to?
No, not really, no, because I don't think we give up that many chances up until, the team's going to have bits and pieces. I think we create more chances than we concede, and if you look at the XG of where teams get chances, that tells you we're bang on with what we have conceded. There's going to be times where it's like that. I think because our standards have been so high in terms of what we give up in games, give teams very little opportunities. When we do give 1 or 2, it looks worse than it is possibly. But we know there's areas we've got to prove.
And how do you find it having the cameras at the ground?
Yeah, it's all right. Listen, we've all been there before.
And Ollie Coker back in the team, back starting.
Yeah.
How's he adjusting to that?
Good, yeah. No, he was out and stop-start, so for his first start, it made it. We knew if he got to 60, 65 minutes, whatever it was, that it might start to feel it a bit. So pleased to get him through that, and we'll see how he reacts to training again today.
And you'll be pleased to get back on the touchline for tomorrow night's game.
Yeah, obviously, and right in amongst it, it should be. I think it'd be a good game. It's where you feel most comfortable. When you're winning, especially.
Cheers, Kevin.
Thank you.
How's Callum Powell progressing?
Good. Yeah, he's going to be with Steph now. In terms of for the, I suppose, the last part-ish, but there's still a good few weeks of work because when you're out for that long, there's a lot of stuff you've got to build up and make sure you're ready so that, touch wood, you don't break down again. So yeah, positive in terms of where he's at. He's right on track, but still a few weeks to go.
Yeah, and so we spoke to Jack Bridge earlier. Yeah. He's got 12 assists this season.
Yeah.
People seem to say he doesn't get it in quick enough, but he knows what he's doing, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because we get such certain situations on the pitch so often that people always expect more. If you told Bridge he was going to get 12 assists this season, and I think he's got 4 goals, has he?
A bit more than that.
Has he?
Yeah.
So it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad. As I say, we might be judged slightly different standards. We want to score different types of goals, absolutely, but Bridge is contributing more than that. And as I say, listen, he's a local boy. He loves the club. He's doing brilliant for the football club. He's performed week in, week out, and continues to do that. As a fan or as a manager, you can't ask for too much more. Of course, we want to tweak things and look at different things and improve on things. But for what he's given us this season, when you look at where he was, out of contract, non-contract, for the football club, let's not forget that. And let's
He
not
could have left, couldn't he?
Yeah, could have walked out. Didn't. Now he's got 12 assists, 4+ goals. So he's doing something right. Let's not forget that.